Hello everyone. Hello from my home to yours. I hope this finds you safe at home and doing well, and I hope you're making the best of the situation. I continue to hear so many positive stories about connections that teachers and students and parents are making every day, and it warms my heart. I'm reaching out today because there are a few priorities I want to address this week regarding at-home learning and RISD meal service. But as always, top of mind right now is the well-being of everyone in Richardson ISD, including students, staff, and parents. So I want to turn it over to our RISD Director of Counseling Services, Dr. Summer Martin, who has some important information to share with you. And when she's done, I'll come back and wrap up.
Thank you, Dr. Stone, and thank you for letting me share this information with our families. Because, like she said, the most important thing right now is that we are taking care of ourselves. And we need to remember that what we're going through right now is a form of grief. It's a grief about our expectations for what we were hoping to have this spring. And that could be something from a wedding we were going to attend or even have, to family get togethers, or even graduation. And so, through this, we need to remember to give ourselves a little bit of grace. We sometimes set our reasonable expectations for ourselves, but right now our expectations of ourselves need to be a little different because the time we are going through is something like we've never experienced before. So through that, you might notice some behaviors from your children that are a little different. And so through counseling services, we have created an infographic that we're going to share with you about some of the things you may be seeing from your children and what to do about it and what it really means. Because through our children's behaviors, we see certain words or certain behaviors that are really telling us something different. And it's telling us what they're feeling going through this experience right now. So what you might be seeing is something like anger, and your children might be upset about the stupid remote won't work and I don't know what to do with it. And what they're really saying is, I'm frustrated and I'm really upset at what's happening in the world right now. Or it might be resistance to doing some of their choice boards or the work that they have, because it wasn't like that when they were in school. We didn't have choice boards when we were at school every day. And maybe I don't want to learn math from you, Mom. I want to learn it from my teacher. That's how I learn math, is from my teacher. And that's frustration with the change in how we have to do school right now. And we may have displaced frustration with something like what we want for dinner. And even my own daughter was upset about her brother eating all the leftover macaroni and cheese that she wanted to have for leftovers the next day. But really, in effect, it was the fact that she couldn't go back to seventh grade to see her friends. You may have children who are bored or tired and they just don't feel like doing anything. And that may be the case for you as well. And that's okay, because it's really a code for I'm sad about what's happening right now, because our students aren't getting to see their friends or their teachers at school. And that is what they're used to. Same thing with, they may want to spend more time on their technology. And what we have to remember is that right now, getting online through social media or playing video games through the Xbox or any other type of electronic devices that we have is really their students' only way to communicate with their friends right now. And so we need to have a little bit of grace with that. But what we have to remember too is that playing certain games will increase our dopamine receptors and could increase some of these behaviors that we see in our students. So while we want to have a little bit of grace, we still want to have some of that structure to make sure that we're using technology appropriately and not spending too much time on it. But they're probably going to ask for that because that is their way to communicate with their friends right now. And you may be seeing some physical behaviors from your children. They're fighting more with each other or with you, or getting angry and hitting things or pushing things. And that is just their way of expressing that they're really upset and sad about this time. So in order to help our children cope through this, some of the things that we can do are to get outside. Just going outside, even if you can't go anywhere, and we want to remind you to remember your social distancing and to stay safe, but just to get outside into nature, even if it's sitting on your patio, just being outside in a parking lot away from other people, seeing nature can really help change our perspective. Along with listening to music, letting your children draw or color or paint. We've seen a lot of sidewalk chalk artwork outside. That's another great way for students to get outside a little bit and use their creativity. Do a little bit of exercising if you can. Cooked, make something new in the kitchen. Just do some deep and mindful breathing. But remember to try and keep whatever type of structure you can for your family, and it may not be a regular school day structure. It may be in the evening or other times based on what your family is experiencing through this right now. And some of those ideas may not work for your family. So what we want to ask you is, without technology, what helps bring your student joy that we can safely do during this time? And that might be an activity that can help them through this time. But through all of this, we want you to know that the counselors are here for you at your campus. So please reach out to them if you need some support for yourself or your children. And you can always call the Counseling Crisis Line at 469-593-7472 and leave a message with your name, your student's name, and campus, and somebody will call you back within 24 hours. We hope that you are well, and we hope that you are safe, and we are here for you to get through all of this. Thank you very much, and have a great Friday and a great weekend, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Martin. We all know that this situation is deep and it is hard. But to everyone in this video, it will pass. Many of you are social butterflies and you need interaction. Students, you need it with your teachers. Staff members, you need it with your coworkers and friends. We all miss seeing each other tremendously, but this will pass. For students, some of you have taken on much more responsibility at home because your parents are working. You're cooking, cleaning, and taking care of siblings while trying to keep up with your school assignments. This is going to pass. Some of you are struggling with anxiety and fear. You worry about what will happen in the future, and if you or your family members are going to get sick. This will pass too. To everyone, this situation will pass, and when it does, we'll return to life. We'll return to school. It may be a little different from what we knew before the coronavirus, but nonetheless, we will return to life and we will be stronger, wiser, and more appreciative of all the blessings in our lives. In RSD, we have a culture of connections and communication. When I say we're here for you, I mean we are here for you. If you're struggling with anything, please reach out to someone above all else. And this is RSD's #1 priority. Take care of yourself. Stay safe and be well. A few updates on some other quick priorities. First, at-home learning. Parents and students, remember at any time you can go to www.rsd.org/at-home learning and you can access plans and activities that you can use to continue learning from home. And resources are being updated all the time. We also have a hotline that you see on your screen, and that is for students and parents to call for backup, guidance, and assistance. And one more thing about at-home learning. Parents of students in grades K through 12 who do not have a student device may contact their campus administration or campus technical assistant to have them request a device. Again, you can visit www.rsd.org for all of this information. Second, the RSD meal service schedule is changing. I want to give a huge shout out to our nutrition services team who are working nonstop to make sure our students are receiving weekly meals. We began meal service, that's breakfast and lunch, on March 23rd, and as of this week, we've served more than 250,000 meals. There are just no words to express gratitude for all the people working to make this happen. In an effort to reduce the health risks to staff preparing and serving meals, as well as parents and students picking up meals, RSD has switched this week to serving meals 3 times a week, while still serving enough meals to feed students Monday through Friday. To see a full schedule of meal service, again, you can go to the RSD website to see meal information on the homepage. The week of April 20th and in the weeks to follow, meals will be provided on Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday only. Remember that any child 18 or under can get free to-go meals from any one of our 25 meal sites. And remember, parents picking up free meals for children without your children present, remember that we ask that you bring verification such as a student ID, report card, birth certificate, or verification that was mailed home to you in April. That's it for this week. I'll see you again next week. And just remember, we've got this, y'all, and we're all in this together.